Greetings, class. I am Dr. Ming Luong, and this class is MBA 5401. Welcome to Session 1, Organizations and Management Systems. What makes information systems so essential today? Information systems are essential for conducting day-to-day business. Whether you are running a brick and mortar or an e-commerce business, you need information systems. There is a growing interdependence between a firm's ability to use information technology and its ability to implement their business model and strategies. Business has embraced technology as a way to enhance customer value and increase a business competitive advantage. Operational excellence. Improve the operational efficiency in order to achieve higher profitability. New products, services, and business models. Business model is how firm delivers, produce, and sells a service or product to deduce wealth. Customer and supplier intimacy. Satisfactory customers will increase sales and revenues. A growing relationship with suppliers increases vital inputs and creates continuance of logistics ability. Improved decision making. Information based on facts leads to accurate decision making. Note that all information must be vetted as correct before making policy decisions. Competitive advantage. Achieving operational excellence, services, new products, and customer-supplier intimacy will lead to performing better than the competition, which parlays to more sales. Finally, survival. Information systems and technologies are necessary to do business. The necessities are driven by changes in industry and country, state, city laws and regulations. So, what is the role that IT plays in these businesses' objectives? Changes in strategy, rules, and business processes increasingly require changes in software, hardware, and other IT assets. IT limitation also causes limitation on what organization can do. In order to describe how a firm delivers, produces, and sells a service or product to deduce wealth, it is necessary to design a business model. The proper business model will define the customer and supplier relationship, the decision-making process, the utilization of competitive advantage and survival. There is an interdependency between a company's business model and strategy and information technology. Utilizing strategy that derive from a business model, a company will choose the products and the production processes. Utilizing organization, a firm will mobilize the talents of people in a functional and hierarchical division of labor to transform input resources into sales. Through technologies, a company can sustain the production process until profits commence. As we have seen, Apple transformed an old business model of music distribution based on tapes, CDs, and DVDs into iTunes and streaming to their products iPod, iPad, and iPhone. Netflix did the same with movie distribution and rental industry. YouTube has changed the way we disseminate news, homemade videos, and training, among other things. How many of you here have gone to YouTube and watched a Twinger Perry by Night video or a Chinese translated movie? You do that without ever set foot into the Twinger concert or theater, right? Sport teams such as Rugby Football Union, they use video systems to help them analyze how players play and use this knowledge to improve the game or to formulate strategies against their opponents. They also collect data about fans, including ticket purchases and social media activities. They use Facebook, Twitter, and other social media to advertise and connect with their fans. They sell tickets on the internet and provide wireless access in the field. This is how they provide services and promote sales via different channels. They have mobile apps so that fans can monitor their team's performance, ticket price, and other aspects. By doing so, they keep the fans interested and thus create customer intimacy. Big business has embraced technology to go global. Globalization is affecting virtually every large company in the world. We use the internet to purchase from Amazon, eBay, and Alibaba. eBay and Alibaba operate as marketplaces in which they do not own any inventory and only act as medium between third-party sellers and buyers. In contrast, Amazon owns a large portion of the inventory it sells on its websites. However, it is also moving toward the marketplace's business model. Every single mega companies I mentioned above has penetrated the Vietnam market. Smartphones, Wi-Fi internet, ease of trade provide for greater market access to countries like Japan, Singapore, Australia, Canada, Thailand, and of course the US. eBay has been in Vietnam since 2011. Lazada, which Alibaba is a major holder, operates in various Southeast Asian markets, including Vietnam. Alibaba officially entered the country in 2017 and claimed that it had accumulated tens of thousands of business members after just half a year. By comparison, some 200 Vietnamese companies are currently selling their items on the Amazon platform, according to the latest survey by the Vietnamese authorities in 2018. Many individuals also sell on Facebook Market. The Vietnam e-commerce market is projected to double in size to $10 million in 2020 from $5 billion in 2016, according to the Ministry of Industry and Trade. We use the internet to study overseas without ever set foot into the country of the university. Even mom and pop businesses still need to embrace technology to some degree. One example is a street merchant using a mobile phone to check the weather before she goes to work. Again, these are examples how organizations and individuals have used technologies as either an enabler or a tool to improve their operation, create supplier and customer intimacy, improve competitive advantage, or just merely survive. As a result, we as individuals also are impacted, and thus technologies not only change how we do business, but also how we live, work, interact with each other in society. The next topic is about organization, business functions, and systems. I will use a real IT organization to show you what it looks like for a digital firm's IT department. Let's call this company 6Axis. As we discussed in Chapter 1, the digital firm means more than just plunking down computers that have all the latest bells and whistles on every desk. The digital firm must connect each functional area and each management level to one another. Data input to the system in manufacturing must be made available to sales, accounting, and shipping, for example. Managers in the human resources department must have access to appropriate information regardless of its origin. Information integration is the key to the digital firm, and the key point is that information systems use data as the main ingredient, and organizations rely on people. So let's walk through the slides. As you can see, this company is a hotel management company. The scope is worldwide. Its focus is on servicing guests in 100 plus countries and territories. We call the company 6Axis. Obviously, this is a real company and is one of the largest hotel chains in the world. But since some of the data presented here is proprietary, we will just hide its real business name. The company has three distinct operations: management and franchise, 545 managed hotels, plus 4,087 franchised hotels. Ownership, 142 of their own properties. Timeshare, 46 timeshare properties totaling 7,592 units. The company has a set of goals and strategies. We will focus on the two circled in red and their related IT infrastructure, security, and applications. This slide gives you some idea of how the company has data that is distributed to several data centers. This is not only to ease of access, but also for system performance, security, and disaster recovery. Note that company also has many systems on the private cloud or public cloud. Take a look at the application groups, what they are, how they serve the different management groups in the business, and how they link together to serve the organization. The first group is transactional systems. They are transaction processing systems, or TPS, or they can also be called online transaction processing systems, OLTP. The first one, REST, or reservation systems, are TPS. Journey systems, or call center tool, are TPS. The front-end ERP systems are TPS. These systems are at the operational level. They perform tasks such as reserving a room, update, cancel a reservation, payroll, accounts payable, and employee record keeping. This level is responsible for daily operations. TPS combine data in various ways to fulfill the hundreds of information needs a company requires to be successful. The data is very detailed at this level. Note that these OLTP systems process about $5 million a day, 365 days a year, for a total of about $1.75 to $2 billion a year. Any system downtime will cost the company a significant amount of business. The second group is intranets, extranets. Some of the ERP systems, such as HR and benefits, are intranets, and supply chain management systems are extranets. Intranets and extranets use internet technology and standards to assemble information from various systems and present it to the users in a web-based format. Extranets make portions of private corporate intranets available to outsiders. Both intranets and extranets make it easy for companies to disseminate information through a standard platform that requires very little work to maintain. It's a low-cost way to connect internal employees with one another or external users to company information. The third group is the systems for business intelligence. Systems for business intelligence are sometimes called online analytic processing, or OLAP systems. Business and organizations collect billions and billions of pieces of data on everything from customers to suppliers to business partners. Once data is collected, business intelligence software applications can help users make sense of all that data. Decision makers can discern hidden patterns and trends in the data and use the information to the organization's benefit. Enterprise Information Management is BI. The back-end ERP system has analytic functions for Decision Support System, or DSS, and Executive Information Systems, or EIS. GPM, or Guest Profile Management Systems, is also a DSS system with data integration into the Enterprise Information Management Systems for BI. The last type is e-commerce, e-business. Digital platform is a suite of e-business. The two terms, e-commerce and e-business, are often confused with each other. E-commerce is limited to the buying and the selling of goods and services on the networks. E-business encompasses not only e-commerce but also a broader range of tasks like coordinating training seminars for the customers. 6Xs use the internet to conduct training to their franchisees and managers and hotel personnel. They use cloud computing and IoT to manage their digital key systems. They obviously also do e-commerce. In order to describe how a firm delivers, produces, and sells a service or product to deduce wealth, it is necessary to design a business model. The proper business model will define the customer and supplier relationship, the decision-making process, the utilization of competitive advantage, and survival. There is an interdependency between a company's business model and strategy and information technology. Utilizing strategy that derive from a business model, a company will choose the products and the production processes. Utilizing organization, a firm will mobilize the talents of people in a functional and hierarchical division of labor to transform input resources into sales. Through technologies, a company can sustain the production process until profits commence. I also want to make an additional comment about emerging technology. We cannot study information technology and not paying attention to emerging information technology. In regards to the future trends of hotel management, BI for them has to include artificial intelligence. Intelligent hotel management is where all data channels are linked together, just like human arteries and veins, forming a superlative, productive, and high-performance structure that assembles the future visions of automated hotel system. Internet of Things, or IoT, enabled connections of motion sensors, room control, and smart voice control are poised to change the way hotels function. Integration of IoT into intelligence-driven hotel operations will not only personalize hotel guest experience but also impact the business model of the hotel industry in the near future. The following slides represent the IT organization chart. Think about it. Does it look similar to any organization you are in? Without dwelling into the details, we can see that organizations share many of the same characteristics. Clear division of labor, hierarchy of authority, abstract rules and procedures, impartial judgments, technical qualifications for positions, and maximum organizational efficiency. These characteristics describe the organizations that are called bureaucracies, which most of us think of as slow, cumbersome, and unresponsive. That isn't necessarily so. Many organizations have bureaucratic characteristics and operate very well. As we have learned from our case study of Deutsche Bank, introducing a new system to an organization is not easy, right? Because it usually means major changes for the organization. You can review chapter 3 for the organizational factors that need to be considered when you are planning for a new system. Environment, structure, culture, type and style of leadership, principal interest groups affected, and attitudes of workers, tasks, decisions, and processes that will be affected. The integration of an information system into an organization naturally causes change for the organization. Sounds simple enough. What isn't so simple to manage is the very fact that many people do not readily accept change. No matter how much technology you employed, it is still the organization's people who will make or break it. Hello class. This session is about moral, ethics, and legality. I want you to think about the following questions. What are moral, ethical, and legal issues raised by IT? What specific principles for conduct can be used to guide our ethical decisions? Why do contemporary information systems, technology, and the internet pose challenges to the protection of individual privacy and intellectual properties? Ethics refers to the principles of right and wrong. In the business world, we have individual ethics and organizational ethics. Sometimes, conflicts between these two create real-world ethical dilemmas. When confronted with a situation of ethical issues, our textbook on Chapter 4 suggests a 5-step process. Identify and describe the facts clearly. Identify and describe the conflict or dilemma. Identify the stakeholders. Identify the options you can reasonably take. And identify the consequences of the options. Consider the ethical principles or the high-order values that inform your judgment. They have deep roots in your upbringing, society, and culture, and have survived throughout the recorded history. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the golden rule. Putting yourself in the place of others and thinking of yourself as the object of the decision can help you think about fairness in decision making. If an action is not right for everyone to take, it is not right for anyone. Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative rule. Ask yourself, if everyone did this, could the organization or society survive? If an action cannot be taken repeatedly, it is not right to take at all. This is the slippery slope rule. An action might bring about a small change now that is acceptable, but if it is repeated, it would bring unacceptable changes in the long run. In the vernacular, it might be stated as one start down from the slippery path you might not be able to stop. Take the action that achieves the higher or greater value utilitarian principle. This rule assumes that you can prioritize values in a rank order and understand the consequences of various courses of action. Take the action that produces the least harm or the least potential cost. Risk aversion principle. Some actions have extremely high failure costs of very low probability. For example, building a nuclear generating facility in an urban area, or extremely high failure costs of moderate probability. For example, speeding and automotive accidents. Avoid actions which have extremely high failure costs. Focus on reducing the probability of accidents occurring. Assume that virtually all tangible and intangible objects are owned by someone else unless there is a specific declaration otherwise. This is the ethical no free lunch rule. If something someone else has created is useful to you, it has value, and you should assume that the creator wants compensation for this work. To summarize, actions do not easily pass these rules deserve closer attention and a great deal of caution. The appearance of unethical behavior might do as much harm to you and your company as actual unethical behavior. In the information age, we have to be more mindful of the following 5 moral dimensions. They are not new. They are just made more profound because of the technology. Information rights and obligations, property rights and obligations, accountability and control, system quality, and the quality of life. Ethics is easily managed in the small group because the group itself tends to control the individual's behavior. It refers to as self-policing. The larger the group, the harder it is to manage the actions of individuals. Now stretch that to a huge number of people with many frames of reference and experiences. Responsibility to the group becomes harder to police, and accountability for the individual's action is harder to enforce. We can examine individual and company ethics, individual and internet social media ethics to demonstrate the above points. You and your company. Most companies have electronic device acceptable use policy. This policy covers the right of the organization to govern all activities that transpire on the organization's own network and electronic device assigned to an employee to use, whether that is a work computer, a laptop, or a cell phone. In addition, organizations usually will let you know that if you are assigned to a company's email address, the organization also has the right to the emails as the company's property. And since all emails sent or received from this email address go to their mail server, such monitoring, collecting, and storing are easy tasks. So, as far as for the legality, the organizations have a lot of legal rights to your emails and your internet transactions. Whether it is ethical is a different question. There have been many discussions on this subject, from the viewpoint of whether an employee has the right to privacy in the workplace to a viewpoint that sometimes invasions of privacy is necessary, for example, in the case of law enforcement. There are 6 criteria for determining whether an invasion of privacy is justifiable. For what purpose is the undocumented personal knowledge sought? Is this purpose a legitimate and important one? Is the knowledge sought through the invasion of privacy relevant to its justifying purpose? Is invasion of privacy the only or the least offensive means of obtaining the knowledge? What restrictions or procedural restraints have been placed on the privacy invading techniques? How will personal knowledge be protected once it has been acquired? These questions can be used from both sides as guidance. From an employee's aspect, to protect yourself, number 1, never send or receive your personal emails via company assigned email address or network. Number 2, always have a confidentiality disclaimer that states that the email is intended for the people in the to and CC and advises anyone who receives the email in error to delete the message and disregard the matter. Number 3, do not use employers' equipment for personal activities. And number 4, do not conduct personal internet activities at work. You, the internet, and social media. Have you downloaded pirated software, movies from questionable sites? Have you posted or reposted unflattering comments about someone or something on Facebook without doing fact check? Have you Googled info for your homework assignments? Do you make sure to go to the creditable sources? Do you give credits where credits due? Can you differentiate blog posts, opinion sites, vendor white papers with academic resources? These are questions to ask yourself. And just because you think you can, it doesn't mean that you should. Take a look at how e-commerce and e-business companies harvest your personal and behavioral data and sell it. Within seconds of visiting ebay.com or expedia.com, information detailing a web server's activity there is likely to be auctioned on the data exchange run by BlueKai, the Seattle startup. Each day, BlueKai sells 50 million pieces of information like this about specific individuals' browsing habits for as little as 1/10 of a cent a piece. The auctions can happen instantly as a website is visited. This data is used for targeted ads. These ads can get very personal and very intrusive. Now we can take a look at social media companies such as Facebook in order to understand the extent of how legitimate social media companies use your private data. Now we can take a look at social media companies such as Facebook in order to understand the extent of how legitimate software companies use your private data. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission is probing Facebook over potential misuse of the personal information of as many as 87 million Facebook users by the data analysis firm Cambridge Analytica. That company and others were able to gain access to personal data of Facebook users due to the confluence of a variety of factors, broadly including inadequate safeguards against companies engaging in data harvesting, little to no oversight of developers by Facebook, developer abuse of Facebook API, and users agreeing to overly broad terms and conditions. Cambridge Analytica incident is a textbook violation of the settlement Facebook reached with the FTC in 2011, which required that Facebook users give permission before their data was shared beyond the privacy limits they set on Facebook. Another one, researchers associated with Cambridge University, led by psychologist Mikhail Kosinski, discussed that likes on Facebook can be used to automatically and accurately predict a range of highly sensitive personal attributes, including sexual orientation, ethnicity, religious and political views, personality traits, intelligence, happiness, use of addictive substance, parental separation, age, and gender. The researchers note that less than 5% of users labeled as gay were connected with explicitly gay groups, but that liking certain fashion brands and certain singers are likes indicative of gay men. The bottom line is this: anything you put in an electronic platform is unerasable. Ethics in an information society holds each person responsible for his or her actions. Each person is accountable for everything he or she does, no matter how anonymous the action may seem. Each person is reliable for the consequences of his or her actions may inflict on other people and society as a whole.